Down in the Valley, which is better than X-Men 3, sort of post-Badlands, latter-day suburban western set in what is described in the press notes as the cultural no man's land of the San Fernando Valley. They said it, not me. I mean, San Fernando Valley, known for many things, for silicone, for pornography, for that film 2 Days in the Valley and the film Valley Girls. Anyway, Ed Norton stars as this borderline delusional gas station worker who talks in that kind of, oh, shucks, ma'am way that John Voight did in Midnight Cowboy, sports a cowboy hat, sort of has delusions of being a cowboy. Very early on, abandons his job to go to the beach with a teenage girl, played by Evan Rachel Wood, who's from 13. He falls for her. They start having, I mean, if you've seen Badlands, you're kind of familiar with this. They start having an awkward, strange, slightly off-kilter relationship. And so, inevitably, as you'd expect, things start to go badly wrong. Her father, played by David Morse, who's a brilliant actor, hates him. He starts to develop a kind of unhealthy relationship with her brother, who's played by Rory Culkin. Weirdness and death ensues. Now, the film itself is okay. It's moody, it's sweaty, it's got quite a nice tactile feel to it, or it's not entirely original. As I said, it does owe a debt to Badland. It also makes a mistake of quoting directly from 70s classics like Taxi Driver, and the director David Jacobson cites things like Red River as his visual inspiration. The problem with ever calling up those kind of films to mind is that whenever I see a film that cites Taxi Driver, all I think is, yeah, and this isn't Taxi Driver. And it isn't Taxi Driver by quite some distance. That said, Ed Norton is a great actor, and he's done some really good work in the past. I mean, people will know him from Fight Club, from that awful Red Dragon thing in which we've got back, which he was the best thing. He is a very, very fine actor, and he does a real good job. He has got his work cut out for him because he's up against David Morse, and David Morse is one of those people who he's not considered to be a superstar in the sort of public perception, and yet he is always good in everything he's in. He's in 16 Blocks, of course, and he acts Bruce Willis and Mos Def or Gertrude Stein, off the screen completely. He always brings gravitas to a role. And then, to top it all, you get a cameo by Bruce Dern as a mad rancher, and it is only a cameo, and that's pretty much what Bruce Dern does now. He turns up and does mad cameos, but I love Bruce Dern. I mean, I've loved him ever since Silent Running, and I think he's very fine. So it's worth seeing for the performances, and it's certainly worth seeing for Ed Norton's performance. I just don't think that as itself as a movie, it's not the most original thing you're going to see. But when you put it next to X-Men 3, or X-Men Last Stand, as we're officially calling it, it is, as we always say, it's clearly Citizen Kane, because it's actually got real characters who really do some things that you believe in.
We don't always say, you always say.